Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I felt when I saw the three Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. For years, I was a little kid who literally loved Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I even made a mask made out of paper like this and just taping it together, and then I will cut out the holes of the eyes, and I will put it on and crawl under the table. I was just a little kid, but I was so excited to see Spider-Man. I remember my favorite toy cousin of my mom gave me was a Spider-Man plush. When I played the Spider-Man PS4 game, and he shows when you pick up one of the backpacks and you see that little plush toy, that's one of my first toys when I was a kid, of Spider-Man. It was 2002. I was still in elementary school. Um, we saw the catastrophe of 9/11 the year prior, and then we saw this movie, and it was such an amazing feeling. I think I saw it twice on the theater. It was one of those moments that you cannot describe how it felt. I remember buying it on a video cassette. Yes, I'm that old. Um, and that VHS tape was rewind and put together multiple times so that this kid could watch that movie every single time, every single year. Um, I loved it. I loved it so much. I love William Dafoe's Green Goblin back then. I thought he was terrifying when I was a kid, especially that evil laugh when he's in the, Spider-Man comes into that building that is on fire, and then he literally, oh my God! And you're like, oh my God, what the heck? And you're just a little kid, so you're just like super excited about it, and you're like creeped out, but like, oh my God, this is so cool. When he dodges, the blaze of the pumpkin bomb that he threw at Spider-Man. It was an amazing feeling when I was a little kid, and all I wanted to do was Spider-Man. I was decent at drawing. I literally drew Spider-Man more than a million times. Back then, I was such a big fan, and Tobey Maguire just did such an amazing job for that first Spider-Man movie. Then I saw Spider-Man 2. I remember I was living in Puerto Rico, and it took us like 15 minutes to get to the movie theater. And I went to the movie theater with my mom. I was a little bit older at that time. It was 2004, something like that. 2007, I don't even remember. And I went to that movie theater and I saw Doc Ock for the first time. And the reaction of the theater was static. Like the fight scenes, you just gasp because, he was throwing his arms left and right, and he was just showing all these little things, and you were like, oh my God, this is a villain. Like, this is as good, if not better, than the Green Goblin on the first movie. And that was such an amazing feeling. You always wanted Peter to get the girl. When I was in school, I was bullied a lot. I tend to live out my characters or my favorite characters in movies or anime or whatever. And I was a very imaginative kid. I used my imagination to play with other kids. I imitated characters. I did the whole spider's web, web swinging stuff. And people bully me because of that. I was a weirdo because of it. So it was a tough time. And when I saw Peter in the first movie be bullied and then he defended himself, it gave me the power to fight back. And yes, I fought a lot in school. I used to fight a lot because people used to bully me. They will smack me in the back of the head. They will call me names. They would throw stuff at me. They would grab my notebooks and throw them away, and I had to pick them up, and then they would throw them away again. Um, they would try to accuse me of watching porn in the classroom, or they would throw a magazine in my desk and then tell the teacher on me, like if I had those magazines myself. Um, I used to get really mad and react in the worst possible way. So when I saw Spider-Man overcome all of that, Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man overcome all of that, it gave me hope. It gave me a lot of hope. It gave me the power to believe that I was more than what I was. It gave me the power to believe that I could defeat anything that was challenging me, anything that I had to face. I could beat it. I could defeat it. And then I watched Spider-Man 3. So Spider-Man 3 is a whole different ballgame, right? That came out in 2008. And that was a whole different ballgame. I was a little older, like probably 6th grade, 7th grade. I think it was 7th grade or 8th grade. I don't remember, in middle school. And so that was a whole different experience. Spider-Man became the bully, right? By donning the black suit. I still love that suit. Till this day, it's one of my favorite suits ever. I love the composition by Michael Giacchino, especially when he's discovering and he's looking at his hands and all this feels good, and he just jumps out of the building and then he swings with such power. That was an amazing feeling. I hated Venom. I was a fan of the 90s series, the animated series of Spider-Man that ABC Family and then Jetix used to play for those 90s kids and 2000 kids that remember. So I hated the Venom character right away. I didn't even think about it twice. I was like, no, I hate this. This is bullshit. But everything else, Sandman was on point for me. The new Goblin, or how they call it in the movie, or Hobgoblin, was okay. I just hated Venom. Venom was unnecessary in that movie, and I think everybody can agree that the new Venom with Eddie, this other actor, is better, like way better than the Venom we had before. After that, we had obviously the Amazing Spider-Man series. By then, I was already at the end of high school, entering that college period, which I only took like 6 months of a technical college. And there's Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone. That was my crush when I was, in those teenage years. Her and Taylor Swift, they were my two crushes, two blonde girls, in my opinion, but I loved them both. One as a singer, the other one as an actress. Andrew Garfield just, to me, was so freaking cool. He gave a different vibe to Spider-Man. It was nice to see his redemption in No Way Home. And I hope that he actually get to make his third movie. Sony, make this happen, please. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, I loved their relationship. It was so honest and so heartwarming. It wasn't like Mary Jane in the first trilogy. That, let me tell you, the actress is great, but Mary Jane, I always hated her because I thought that Peter deserved a lot better than that bitch. Sorry. But in the Amazing Spider-Man series, Gwen Stacy was just such a genius and such a tough girl and such a good, heartwarming character that when she died, that hurt. I remember seeing that scene in the theater. We all just stood in silence, pure shock. And to this day, I am one of the few people that says that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is It's an okay movie, and I like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not like you guys are gonna care about that, but it is it's one of those movies that I remember with a lot of heartfelt. Then we got the trailer for Captain American Civil War, and we saw Spider-Man holding Captain America's shield, and we all lost our minds. I remember the reaction to that. It was as big as Endgame and as big as No Way Home. That reaction to see Spider-Man in the MCU was amazing. I love the first Homecoming movie. I think it was a good movie. I think one of my favorite scenes, and I still remember it to this day when I am having very tough times, is when he's crying in that destroyed structure on top of him, and he's crying for his aunt, and he realizes that there's nobody else there to help him but himself, and he grabs that building and he goes up. That scene is such a powerful scene. I still remember it to this day. Then we have Far From Home. Disappointing. I love Mysterio. I think Mysterio was a good character. I hated his motivation, but his acting and his character, mwah, on point. One of the best Spider-Man villains for sure. And then we had No Way Home. And No Way Home, I watched every video about the theories and what if Tobey and Andrew showed up, what would happen in the movie and all that. And I was just like everybody else. The hype was real. And then I went with my wife to see it. And it was like all those periods of my life merged into one. And I finally said, I'm old. Right? I'm not old, like I'm still in the prime of my life, but I felt like it's been 100 years. But seeing Tobey and Andrew and Holland together, it was surreal. I think Marvel did a wonderful job. I think Andrew got the love he deserved. He was a great Spider-Man. Just bad villains, not bad villains, but a back take on the villains, and very disgruntled story, and too much villains into that The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But aside from that, honestly, Andrew got the redemption he deserved. That's the reason why we're asking, please, Sony, release this Amazing Spider-Man 3, please. And then we see Tobey, and Tobey is a mentor to both Andrew and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And seeing them all three say, with great power comes great responsibility, was an amazing thing, because that's so true. I remember one of the quotes that my mom taught me that for me was as powerful as that quote was, always be honest, because the truth will always come out. And it doesn't matter if you're angry, you're frustrated, honesty is your best policy. And I remember the power that quote has had on my life, where whenever I have different situations in life, I'm honest about them. I share everything, and I try to trust everybody. Sometimes that backfires, sometimes that gets me fired. But it's a good policy to have, because you'll find out really who cares about you. And for Tom Holland, Peter Parker, when May said that quote, with great power comes great responsibility, to him, that was heartbreaking, because she died right after, right? Do we need Ben Parker explanation? Yeah, we do. But I think May was just as powerful as Uncle Ben, and I think that their decision to make that happen is okay. We saw Uncle Ben die twice already. Um, I'm super excited for Spider-Man into the Across the Spider-Verse. I love the Into the Spider-Verse movie. As Puerto Rican, I'm very biased about Miles Morales. I think he represents both cultures, African American culture and Puerto Rican culture, to the T. I love the Spider-Man PS4 video game, which I have it on my PS5, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I have it on my PS5. I love them both. I can't put them down. Literally, I passed the 2 stories already, and I'm still doing the side quest on every single mission on those games, and I cannot put those games down. And when you walk into Miles Morales' grandma's apartment, because she moved back to Puerto Rico, and you see all the little figurines, and you see the kitchen and the meals, and you see the flag, and you see the music, and you put that that music on, and it's salsa. It reminds me how much I miss home. I love America. I love Washington State. It's just not the same. Um, you can take a Puerto Rican out of the island, but you cannot take Puerto Rico out of me. Is my culture, my nation, my country. Nothing against this country. I love it. It has given me everything I have, and I wouldn't go back to Puerto Rico the way it is. But seeing Miles represent part of us is an amazing feeling. And I hate when people say, "Oh, well, he's blackwashed or whatever." I don't care. There's more than white, black, and Hispanics in this world. And all of us need to feel a sense of belonging. All of us need to feel we belong. Not only because of the color of our skin, but because of what we are inside our name, our culture, our mindset. I don't care what color my Spider-Man is, as long as he's fucking Spider-Man, man. I love Spidey. And I love being able to appreciate him this much. Alongside Mega Man, alongside Cloud and Zack Fair from Final Fantasy, Spider-Man has changed my life in more ways than one. That's why I made this channel, because I want to help people. I want to introduce them to my world, but I also want to share what I love, what I like, my passions, my dreams, my desires. Yeah, I want to make money making YouTube videos, and yeah, I want to honestly have what many YouTubers have, the nice car, the nice house, nice costume and shit. But I honestly do this because Peter Parker and Miles Morales would have a YouTube channel just to help other people out. And as a Puerto Rican, us Puerto Ricans, when we're not violent and we're not in gangs, okay, we help each other. I've seen it in Hurricane George in '98. I saw it in Hurricane Maria in 2017. I saw it in the earthquakes in 2020. Puerto Ricans help each other out. So when Bad Bunny made a song singing about Itachi from Naruto and then singing in freaking Japanese, I felt I wasn't the only one that wasn't cool but it was only a matter of time. And I'm glad Spider-Man is such a big character. And I'm glad I met him through the comic book pages, through the video games, and through the movies. Thank you, Stan Lee. You're my hero. Rest in power, my friend. And yeah, make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, turn on the notifications on. I make videos like this all the time. If you wanna share how Spider-Man has changed your life, how Peter Parker or Miles Morales or any of the other Spider-Man has changed your life, make sure to drop a comment down below. And I hope to see you in the next video.